There are those that just want to be left alone, and those that just won't leave them alone. Which one are you? The Ernest Hancock Show.
Don't stop me, 'cause I'm having a good time, having a good time. A shooting star leaping through the sky like a tiger, defying the laws of gravity.
Yeah, defying the laws. Oh, even gravity. You know, give me a chance. I'll defy that one too, if I can. Well, we're talking with Drew Phillips and Nick Barnett via Skype, and there was an opportunity a lot of young anarchist activists don't get. They don't get to talk to, icons like Butler Schaefer. And it wasn't, I've known Butler for years before I had an idea of just how popular, you messed it up, man, just how popular he was and how well known he was amongst the young. So this is, you just messed him up.
No, he already dropped.
Okay. So what we're going to go ahead and do is go back. Oh, he's calling Nick back now to get you back on. Can you hear me, Nick? Yeah, okay, he knows. So he's going to call and get you back on, because what I wanted to do is make sure that you get the impression from these young minds that have not had the opportunity to meet with such icons like this. Because I had the experience of just from the ground before the internet. It was something that was self-taught, and you met some people, and it became an opportunity for me to express. Do you need me to do this? You know what to do?
I got it.
No, you just hung up on him again. Sierra, come do this. Go ahead and get on the mic. Go ahead and tell us about the conversation right now, Nick. Go ahead and let her do it. There you go.
It was not necessary to dial a 1. Okay, relax, buddy.
Sierra.
We'll get you on there, Nick. It was very enjoyable to speak to Butler Schaefer this weekend, or this past, whenever it was, Monday. So he did. I'll spoil this. Nick and I just came up with this last night, and he shared a story of the Huntington flag. Was one of the original rebellious flags of the Revolutionary period, and what it was essentially the Union Jack, and they ripped off all the blue and white. And so it was just a red flag, and then they took the white, what was left of it, and they stitched Liberty into this red flag.
Back in the day, they would, they didn't have a way to print and dye flags the way that they do now. So they would start with just a red background, and then they would go and paste on the blue and paste on the white. So you've got big triangles of blue, and you've got thin stripes of white. And they ripped all those off, so they were just left with red.
And then what?
Well, you got to wait for the video.
Oh, so that's what this is, your little secret thing.
Without spoiling Nick's even awesomer idea yesterday when we were talking about this, they will be for sale at PorkFest. So there you go.
Oh, is this something you guys are doing, or are you going to contract it out?
We'd have to pay somebody to do that. We'll do it ourselves.
Yeah, it's all in-house.
Well, Donna has a whippy-dippy sewing machine. She's just waiting for a project.
You missed the story. They destroyed the flag. We don't need a sewing machine. We need to destroy the Union Jack.
Okay.
But you're right. We need a sewing.
Well, you got to sew in letters.
Yeah,
do something.
We got it. We putting it together. We pulled the trigger, ordered, not waiting on anybody.
Well, how did that story come up?
I don't even remember. Do you, Nick? He just started. Oh, I know what it was. Because Nick's got a pirate flag. And I don't know. Were we talking about flags, Nick? Was that it?
Yeah, we were talking about flags, and I was talking about how, years ago I used to be interested in flags, like the symbols on them, and, what this stood for, or why is that there, and looking at historical flags. And, I was talking about the Gadsden, and we were talking about the porcupine flag, the Don't Tread on Me Free State Project flag. And Butler said, well, he's definitely not a statist. He's like, well, the only flag that I've ever liked was this Huntington flag. And I have one of those in my office, and I have one at home, and I'd never heard of it before. I've seen that picture before, but I didn't know the story behind it. And it's really cool. And I don't know why, Drew, do you think we could tell them how the Huntington flag, like what they did with it, or no?
No. What did they do with it?
No, what they did with the red flag.
I don't know what they did with it. I just Googled this. I Googled this for the first time last night.
Well, as soon as somebody types Huntington flag into Google, they're going to realize that they took this red flag and then they took all those white strips from the Union Jack, and then they spelled the word liberty.
I got a picture of it up on the screen right now. It's just a red flag with white liberty underneath it.
Yeah, and when we were looking last night, we were looking for like an actual picture of it, and all we were finding was, what you're showing there is just the image. That's just some generic text on red back. That's done in Photoshop or Paint or whatever. We were looking for a real picture of it. So actually, that's what we need to call Butler and say, can you take a picture of the one in your office for us, just so we can kind of see what he's doing? Because you can't buy it on, even these historical flag places don't sell this design. It wasn't something that was mass done.
One thing another thing I thought was interesting. He's a law professor, at Southwestern University in L.A., and he's a constitutional law professor. And he was saying, we need to do away with this Constitution, law thing altogether. It's a waste of time because it doesn't mean anything. I mean, he's really advocating being a real butthead. You get towards you're a hardcore anarchist over your entire life. You get into the last years, you're going, you know what? I'm going to be even hardcore more. So I'm all right, cool. So Butler's in that mindset. And then what's amazing is his wife, Jane, is just as much that way. And she was one of the speakers at one of our freedom summits, too, talking about women in the movement and role they've played and so on. So, you don't have to be dragging her along. She's right there. So it's great you guys got to spend time with both of them. Then tell me about what your presentation's going to be for this Agora Unconference. Nick, what do you got planned for that?
Well, we're going to hopefully we'll get you to come in for a little bit and tell the story that you've told so many times about the silver bullet, how we came up with that, what we did with it, and where we went with it, and the things we accomplished with it. And then Drew and I are going to come in, or maybe we'll talk about that a little bit more, and talk about how it evolved into this dime card idea, and how that's starting to take off, and how people all over the country are now making them. And we're getting in contacts with some pretty big liberty spokesmen and spokeswomen that want to do this in their own community. And I was following the Liberty Dollar trial, and I was reading what that lady who's in there blogging the whole thing, what she was saying. It seems like the government is Heather Lewis. That's it. It seems like the government is completely stuck on this fact that they're trying to convince people that the Liberty Dollars were coins, but Liberty Dollar was very, very careful in everything they did to not call those coins. And if you look in Black's Law Dictionary, a coin is a round piece of metal put out by the government. We're using coin silver, that 90% silver coins before 1965. Those are coins. Those are put out by the government. I don't know how they could ever say that we were doing anything wrong with it. So we're totally in the right on this. I'm positive. Well,
that doesn't matter, but I encourage the conversation. Tell me, Drew, what was, when you explained it to Butler or showed it to him, what was his initial response? I mean, did his eyes light up? Did he go ding, a light bulb went off, or he just goes, yeah, I've seen this before?
Actually, no. And actually it was his wife that responded to it more and wanted to buy some. And she flips it over and goes, oh, okay, here's the website. Do I just contact these to get them? And you go, no, these guys sitting on the floor right here. So that was kind of neat. And so she bought a few, and she really liked him. I think she might have. They might have bought him because they were realizing it was an investment in silver, and they know better. And it was like, okay, someone's offering silver, give them money. But I think you explained, and we explained kind of the why and where, and how it's an activist tool. And I tried to encourage both of them that, hey, don't. I'm not hoping you just kind of put these in the junk drawer or put these in your wherever. I'd like you to show these to people, and if you like it, if you think it's a good idea, please do, because that helps us and helps send this idea viral around the world, which it's already starting to do.
And the one thing he did bring in, which is interesting, is that he brought in that article about Sedgwick, Maine, of them saying,
that.
Yeah, that was cool. And he goes, no. He goes, we're not recognizing any state or federal limitations on us growing any kind of food and trading amongst ourselves. He's really big on that. You go to freedomsphoenix.com right now for today's archive show, and you'll see Sierra just put up Pictures of our goats. We have goats, and there's the cute little pictures, and they're eating the grass against the fence right now, man. Get on it.
Well, we ought to trade dimes for you for food and product, because we went around Gilbert yesterday trying to do commerce with somebody, and nobody would deal with dimes. No haircut, no 40, no food. We'll have to go to the farm to get it all.
Education. Well, we got...
Do you accept silver dimes?
Absolutely. They're probably mine. You know the thing?
Not anymore.
Hey, Nick, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it. And we're looking forward to your next project. There's always a project next from Generation Next. We'll see you again tomorrow on Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock.